Follow the science, they say, as they completely ignore the science. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the adventure. Today, I want to talk about masking, and specifically an article on a website that I just recently found called The Conversation about a new study. And The Conversation alleges that the study does not, in fact, prove that masking is ineffective, when the study actually does a pretty sound job of that. And I want to talk about some of the greater things to remember around the masking issue. Now, I want to give a shout out to High Intensity Health. It's a channel I follow for health news, scientific review, scientific paper review. He's got a master's in nutrition, so he knows what he's talking about. He knows how to read a study. And he has this video on the masking issue, as well as a follow-up video on the death rate of COVID-19. Spoiler alert, really low. Like, really low. But we're going to ignore that for now. And I want to talk about this article right here. Now, wherever you fall on the mask issue, we should be able to agree that when good scientific evidence comes out, or when a well-done research paper comes out that says this thing doesn't actually work, we need to pay serious attention to it and give it the credit it's due, especially when it's got like half a dozen institutions and 2 or 3 dozen people, I think, signed on to it as heads of research. And it was a global effort. I mean, global effort, this research paper. When something like that comes out, it deserves serious weight. I mean, at some point, no matter how strongly you hold a belief, you have to be willing to accept that you're wrong. There has to be some point where you are willing to admit you were wrong. If there's no point where that happens, then you're not following science. You're following a religion. So, in this paper, in this article right here, The Conversation, academic rigor, journalistic flair. And there's a lot of flair in here. Flair means bullshit. There's a few points that are, in my opinion, pretty easy to pick out on why this article is suspect at best. And we're going to go through them. Let me refer to my notes here. So, right here in the second paragraph, the author of this article, and remember, she's arguing that this study that came out, this study right here, the Cochrane Library, and I will have that linked in the bottom of this video. She is arguing, the author of this article is arguing, that the study is bogus, that masks actually work, as you can see right there. So, she cites this right here. She cites this study. 2 authors, 1 institution. The problem with that, strong evidence, significantly reduced, blah, 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 it is a clinical trial study. And she says, right down here, where is it? Bingo, 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 bongo. You can't trust RCTs. Group that doesn't receive intervention or receives, blah, blah, blah. This assumes RCTs are best evidence. Combined results from will give you an average effect size. But RCTs are only the undisputed gold standard for certain kinds of questions. That's not true. That's not true. Randomized controlled trials are the gold standard for all scientific questions. There is no scientific question that is testable that is not best tested by a random control trial. And that's just facts. So she's lying to you right there. She's lying, and you know she's lying because in her opening argument, in her opening paragraphs here, she cited a random control trial to prove her side. Respirators are designed and regulated to prevent airborne infection to prevent air leakage and by filtering out 90% of infectious particles. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I would like to present to you my Discord, where I have a growing community of people who have brain cells.
Here's two.
To prevent air leakage by filtering out 90% or more of infectious particles, huh? Respirators such as N95s. N95 is not a respirator. N95 is a face mask with a one-way valve. It's not the same thing. Respirators have supplied air, either from a filtration pack or a gas can. So this person, again, doesn't know what they're talking about. Next, it says right here, the review starts with an assumption that masks provide respiratory protection. No, it doesn't. The study argues that they do not. The study says this is what people are claiming, and we proved it wrong. The study never claimed that masks provided respiratory protection. It was assessing whether or not they do. Again, the author of this study is lying to you. And then, finally, the last point I want to touch on. Down here, under this section, the author talks about how the study does not actually assess whether masks work or not. It only assesses whether or not mask advice works, because not everyone in the study wore their mask 100% of the time. So you're accusing the study of accounting for real-world conditions? That's a very strange argument to make when trying to debunk a study, let me tell you. In short, ladies and gentlemen, the person making this argument, Beth Daly, the writer, nowhere in her bio does it say that she has a background in science. Nowhere in her bio does it say that this person has a master's in research or anything like that. They're a journalist. Clearly a partisan journalist. We saw over the course of the pandemic that regardless of whether or not mask mandates were in place, cases surged and waned and surged and waned. Almost, they surged often in sync with the replacing of mask mandates. Ladies and gentlemen, my fellow adventurers, masks exist as a symbol of compliance and nothing more. They do not slow the spread of respiratory viruses. Viruses are sand. A mask is a chain link fence. The viruses go right through. Bacteria, fungus, parasites, these are different stories. They're bigger. The mask catches that kind of crap. Viruses, sand, chain link fence, right through. The mask was always a symbol of compliance. It was always an advertisement. Hey, look at me. I'm one of the good sheep who does what I'm told. That's all it was. That's all it is. And if you continue wearing one, all you're doing is advertising that when the sheepdogs come along to try to herd you into the kill line, you'll do as you're told. We'll see you for the next one. Godspeed. Welcome to the adventure. Hey guys, as you know, YouTube has hit this channel with multiple strikes, which means the weight of censorship is holding us down in the algorithm. They don't like the fact that we make raunchy jokes, express banned opinions, and in general refuse to bow. If you could drop a comment, hit the like button, and share this around, it would help us a lot. Sharing helps the most because it gets more people to join the adventure. Thanks for any help you can give me. Take care of yourselves.